guys, and welcome back today for a brand new review. Today for you I have the concealer from Dior. This is their brand new Backstage Concealer, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys a review and wear test on this. I've been wearing this the last 2 days, so I'll be able to give you a pretty detailed review on this concealer and how it worked out for me. If that sounds good, why don't we go ahead and get started. Okay, this is new from Dior. It very much intrigued me. I purchased this from the Dior website, and when I saw this, the thing that I think drew me in the most was the applicator on this. So the applicator is a little bit different. It does have a brush applicator, and I was very curious about that. I also really love trying concealers. It's one of my favorite products to try, especially new concealers, hydrating concealers. This one claims to be a hydrating full coverage concealer, which is what I prefer personally. Like I said, I did grab it from the Dior website, and it came to me so fast. Like, I got it, I think, within like 2 days of ordering it, so really fast shipping. I thought about paying for the expedited shipping so I could get this review up faster, and then I'm glad I didn't because it literally came to me in 2 days anyways. So if you want to order this from Dior, the Dior website, I would recommend doing that. It's really nice because they give you like the pretty packaging, so it came in a really pretty bag, and then I also got some samples in my order as well. So it says, a new addition to the Dior Backstage line, the Flash Perfector Concealer is a full coverage concealer for face and body with a crease proof, we'll talk about that later, crease proof, waterproof formula that blends seamlessly into the skin for a radiant natural finish. It's enriched with caffeine and provides an immediate, fresh, revitalizing effect to the under eye area. It does come in 22 different shades, and as of right now, they are all still available on the Dior website. I'm not sure when this is coming into Sephora, but I would assume it would be coming because normally I feel like they get all of the complexion products at Sephora, so they'll probably be available there soon. I will link it down below for you guys if you want to check it out. I am currently wearing it right now, and I do think it does give a nice radiant effect to the under eyes. I think it just looks pretty. It makes them look a little bit more hydrated, and I do think it gives a really good coverage. Like it mentioned, it does say it's high coverage, and I would agree with that. It does cover pretty well. A little bit definitely does go a long way with this. I only used a small amount like right here, and then I used a tiny bit up here to kind of lift the eye, and I feel like it went really well coverage wise. I have quite a bit of blueness underneath my eyes, and I feel like it covered it up really well. I'm going to show you a wear test with the powder and then without the powder. So yesterday I can say I wore this without the powder, and it did crease on me pretty good. So this says that it's going to be creaseless. It is definitely not creaseless if you do not set this. I had quite a bit of like creping and creasing, as you guys will see in a little bit, underneath my eyes when I didn't apply any powder with this. So today I am wearing it with powder. As I'm filming right now, I haven't done a check-in yet. I'm going to see what my face looks like in another 6 hours, and you guys will see that at the end of the video, how it did wear with the powder. But as of right now, I like the way that it looks on the eyes better with powder. I do think it has a little bit of a better finish personally, and it's not creasing nearly as much already. I've had this on for about an hour at this point, and I haven't noticed as much creasing as I did yesterday. Some close-ups of the bottle for you guys. It is really nice packaging. This is a plastic tube, which I don't mind actually. I kind of like. And then it does have the emblem right there, the Dior, and then like I said, the inside is that brush, which is interesting. So it is just it's almost like a lip brush is what it reminds me of. The texture of this one is pretty liquidy, like as you can see there. Like it kind of just looks radiant in itself just as you kind of apply it. You can definitely feel that hydration with it, and it does give, like I said, that glow to the under eyes, and it does have pretty good coverage. You guys can probably tell that also from there. The shade that I bought was 1C, so that's the shade that I ended up getting. So I do want to go ahead and show you guys application and get into those wear tests for you. So let's go into that now. To start, we're going to go in with our foundation. I actually want to use one that I use pretty regularly. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I really enjoyed this one, so I wanted to use one that I'm very familiar with this concealer. I am using an e.l.f. beauty sponge. I actually just put up a review ranking all of my favorite sponges, so if you haven't seen that yet, definitely check that out if you want some like affordable sponge options. I share a bunch of affordable ones in that video. Here is the concealer right here, and it does have that brush applicator, so a little bit of a different applicator. The shade that I have is the shade 1C, so 1 Cool. I feel like there was a decent shade range on this that I thought. So I'm just going to apply this. I like to do it just like right in here. And then I do apply it a little bit right here just to lift the eye as well. I feel like a lot of people have been doing their concealer place there. Yesterday I had pretty good coverage with this, and I will say that it looked really nice under the eyes. I thought it looked nice and hydrating, and I thought it looked really good. I did have creasing though, as you guys will see in the clips. So I had quite a bit of creasing, but the way that the concealer looked under the eyes I thought was really, really pretty. So you can see there it has a slight bit of glow to it, but it still has really good coverage. You can see I deal with quite a bit of like blueness and stuff, and it definitely covers all that up. I wasn't really sure how I would feel about the brush, but it really doesn't feel much different than your like typical doe foot applicator. It pretty much feels the same, so it really just kind of makes it look a little bit different, I feel, but it doesn't really apply, I feel, any differently than a normal doe foot applicator. So as you guys can see, like I said, it has a nice like hydration look to it. Like it looks like your eyes look nice and hydrated. I really like the coverage, and I do think it looks just nice and fresh on the under eyes. So now I'm going to show you guys with powder. So I haven't actually tried it myself with powder yet, so I'm excited to see how it does look. Powder that I'm going to be using is the Huda Beauty Cookie Powder. This is one of my favorites for smoothing. And I'm just going to be taking that on this puff, and I'm just going to go ahead and work that into my under eyes to set that concealer down. I'm really just going to kind of focus this like in pressing motions, so we have minimal creasing there. So there is the difference you guys want to see like side by side. So set with powder and then without powder over here. So you can see it is a big difference. I typically, like I have been saying, have been using no powder on my under eyes just because I prefer that look. I'm not as big a fan anymore of like this matte look. I feel like it just isn't necessarily for me, and I know I can apply a different powder. When I am going to use powder though, I typically want it to be matte. That's just what I prefer, but you could always go in with like a, you know, not so heavy of a powder, but I feel like for me this one just smooths really well, and I think it looks really nice. I'm going to actually start with blush next, and I'm going to go in with the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush. I saw that this was back in stock on their website when I placed the order for the concealer, and I got so excited. This is such a pretty blush, you guys. I feel like it gives the perfect amount of glow to the face, and also just looks healthy on the skin. I love applying this like before bronzer just to bring some life back into my face after powder. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Glowish from Huda Beauty. For eyes, I'm going to jump back into the Darth Vader palette from Star Wars. I have been loving this. I just put up a review on this if you haven't seen it yet, where I share my thoughts on it along with another eye look. But if you like cool tones, I think you'll really enjoy this one. It's been a nice addition, I think, to their Star Wars palettes. And then for mascara, I'm going to use this one from Maybelline. This is their Curl and Bounce. I've been really liking this one. I love drugstore mascaras, but I'm telling you guys, Maybelline has some of the best. But if you're looking for a curling mascara, this one is so, so good. It's nice and black too. I just feel like it's really pretty. Look at how long and nice that made my lashes look with just one quick coat. I will make sure to link this mascara down below for you guys if you want to check it out. And then for lips, I'm going to pop on this new one from Florence by Mills. This is the Be a VIP Velvet Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Love Me Pauve. And these are also really pretty. They're like a nice whipped formula when you apply them, but they dry down really, really nice. A little bit of my Morphe setting mist to help everything last all day. Okay, and here is my face all finished. I am very happy with the way the Dior Backstage Concealer is looking under the eyes. I think it looks really nice with the powder. It doesn't look over drying at all. Now that I've applied the rest of my base, I feel like I brought some glowiness back to my skin. I do think it looks just nice and hydrated under there. I don't notice any abnormal creasing. I always have these little folds here that concealer can kind of sit in. But aside from that, I don't see any creasing quite yet. I'm going to do a check-in, like I said, at the 6 hour mark so you guys can see how it did wear with the powder and if it did crease throughout the day with the powder or not. But I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way my skin is looking, and especially my under eyes. So let me include now the clips from yesterday so you guys can see how it wore with no powder whatsoever, just a base and a cream product base, and you guys can see the creasing that we had and how it looked without any powder at all. So here you are looking at my skin with no powder whatsoever. I have on all cream products, going for a dewy base. You can probably hear my kids in the background. But I wanted to show you guys my under eyes, see how they're looking. This is after about an hour. You can see that I am getting some creasing here. So that's not typically normal for me at an hour mark. I do always get some creasing, but not normally that much. So you can see I have quite a bit of creasing. I am going to leave it though for the duration. I think I'll do around like a 6-hour mark to show you guys what it looks like without any powder whatsoever. But as of right now, I probably would powder with this just because I am getting that much creasing, but I wanted to show you guys with and without powder. Okay, so I am doing another check-in. It has been, I think, right around the 6 hour, a little over 6 hours at this point. It's not looking so hot. So you can see that I have quite a lot of creasing going on, and I used to be someone who dealt with a lot of creasing, but as of recently I've been using a few more expensive eye creams and I've been seeing really good results with them, and I haven't noticed that I've needed to powder as much as I used to. Some days I don't powder at all, and I do not normally get this much creasing. I get a couple little maybe creases over here, not like even like this deep, but I definitely don't have creasing normally right under here, so at least not like this far down. Normally it's just like this little fold right here, so to have it this far down, I definitely feel like this is one that you're gonna have to powder with for sure. I'm sure I'm gonna put the clips in of me using this with powder because I'm gonna try it with the powder tomorrow, but definitely I would say don't not powder with this one if you have under eye creasing. If you don't, I feel like the actual concealer itself looks pretty good. It didn't seem to like break apart at all, like at the front, maybe a tiny bit, but I feel like my blueness is still pretty covered, and the actual concealer I feel like itself looks okay. It's just the creasing that's really bothering me. Something I did want to note too is that if I noticed this was happening throughout the day, I would have just like kind of gone like this. So it's not something you like absolutely have to not, you know, apply powder with. I feel like if you notice like throughout the day that your under eyes are creasing, you can kind of just do one of those and it kind of livens them up, but you know, not everyone wants to be sitting there tapping out their concealer all day. And then also I feel like when you do that, you do tend to kind of break it apart faster with using like the oil and stuff from your hands. I am back for my update. It has actually been, I'm looking at my clock, it's been like 7.5 hours, so a little bit more than I initially said. So here is what our skin is looking like. I am looking oily today. I can't figure my skin out. I feel like part of the time I'm oily, the rest of the time I'm dry. It's like, I don't know what's going on ever, but I didn't have a chance to touch anything up whatsoever, so this is just how my makeup is looking at the almost 8-hour mark. So under eyes, I actually feel like they look pretty dang good. So I do have some creasing right in here, as you guys can see, but that's pretty typical for me to have creasing like in that fold right there. So really any concealer does that on me. But the coverage has stayed, which is what I appreciate. So even knowing I've gotten like pretty oily, I don't notice maybe like a teensy bit right in here, but not like my under eyes aren't completely blue or anything like that. Sometimes I will have concealers like fade away and then my like blueness will really peek through. And keep in mind I do have children who kind of like play with my face and stuff, but yeah, I feel like it looks really decently good. Even right in here you can see a few little lines creeping through, but nothing like yesterday with the not setting it at all. So all in all, I feel like it looks pretty decent. Let me just get into my final thoughts. Okay, so my after 2-day review here for you guys. I really do like this. I think it does look really nice on my under eyes. I would say yesterday, by the end of the day, I was not loving this whatsoever. I was kind of like thinking I wasn't gonna like it, but today with the powder, I do think it looks really good. I definitely will use this again, but I will make sure to powder for sure. So like I said, some concealers I don't have to do that with. This is one that I definitely would set with if you have any sort of lines underneath your eyes, just based upon yesterday's wear test. I think it is kind of essential unless if you want to be like tapping your eyes all day long, which I know we don't want to be doing, but coverage wise I think it's really nice. It does look nice and hydrating like it claims to. Definitely not crease proof, but I know a lot of concealers claim that and most of them are not crease proof, so that is something to note about this one. But I think it's pretty good. I really like I said, the way my eyes came out. You guys will have to let me know down below what you think of this wear test, and hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new video.